About a week or so ago, I did a video on how to create your first Angular project, and since React is also a very popular web development framework, I felt like I should do the same thing for that. So let's get started. Good afternoon everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, we're going to have a look at Create React App. So there's plenty of other ways that you can do to actually create a React app. Like, you could go and configure the Webpack yourself, but that's way too much effort. But if we look on the Create React App GitHub page, if we go right down to the bottom, maybe a bit further up. So, Create React App is a good baseline for most projects, but say you want to create a static page, for example, then you could use Gatsby, or if you just want to test out some very simple React stuff, then there's a online sandbox you can use. But I'm going to use Create React App because that's just what I'm used to. So if you don't have it installed, then you can install it with npm. Why am I forgetting what my... There we go. Forgot what the key to zoom into my terminal was. So if you don't have npm installed, it's in most standard repositories. So if you're on Arch, you can just use Pacman to get it. I've already got it installed, so I'm not going to bother reinstalling that. If you're on Ubuntu, Debian, anything like that, then install it however you install on those systems. Once you've got npm installed, we can run npm I, which is npm install, and we can run that with create, if I can spell. I can never spell properly. You guys should know that by now. Create React App, and that will install that. I've already got it installed, so it's already done by now. So we'll cd into where I keep all my repos, so I keep all of those in my repos folder. And if we want to create a project with Create React App, we run npm init react app. Once again, if I can spell, and then the name of the app. So we're just going to call it my app because we're really boring. So that'll take a while to finish, so I'll cut back to when that's done. Okay, so now that that's done generating, we've been given a few options here. So if we want to start up the app, we can cd into the folder where we created the app, and if we ls, that'll show all of the files that it's created for us. So we've got our git folder, so it's automatically created a git repo for us. We've got a git ignore in here, so if we check that one out, it takes away the node modules, a couple of other things. It doesn't do the same stuff that Angular does, where it cut out just tons of files, like DS store files and a bunch of other OS specific files, but it's still good. Oh, no, I just can't read. It does cut out the DS files, but there's a couple other things it doesn't cut out that you might want to add in there. So it's created a package JSON, a package lock JSON, those are NPM things, and if we check out the README file, so this has got a lot of stuff in it. It will tell us how to run the project, how to test the project, a bunch of other stuff. This right here is the reason I've decided that using Webpack is pretty pointless. So if you do want to go and configure the Webpack features yourself and everything like that, you can just eject the project from Create React App. But the reason I use Create React App as an initial place to start with is because that initial configuration takes way too long, and it's going to be the same every single time you do it. So you might as well just accept the baseline configurations. Then if you need to eject it and change stuff later, you can do that then. But there's no point not using Create React App as a baseline unless there's some other feature from one of the other things you want to use. So now that we are in this folder, we can run npm start. That'll start our Node Express server, and that'll take a few seconds to start up. Okay, so now that that's running, you won't be able to use this terminal anymore. So if you want to, or at least until you close the server, so if you want to do any, say, git commit, stuff like that, then you're going to have to open up a new terminal. That's what I usually do when I'm developing anyway. So if you want to check out this website, it's automatically opened up the page for us, but if it doesn't for some reason, then you can just type in either of these addresses into your web browser, basically. So as we see in here, we've got the basic React page that it generates for us, which I think it's changed a bit since I last used it, but I'm not sure. Either way, that is our basic React app. So if we just cancel out of the server, we can come back in here. I'll open up Ranger just because it's a bit easier to move around. We can see the files that it has generated for us as the source files. So it's got a CSS file in here, which was doing all that fancy stuff we saw before. You've got your basic JS file, you've got a test file, a index CSS and index JS. If you haven't done React before, I'm probably going to do a separate video actually like on the structure of a React project. I just realized my webcam's in the way. Let's move that. That's much better. So I'll just go quickly back over those again. If you want to stop and look at them yourself, then you can look at them in your own repos. I'll be doing a separate video on React itself, just so I can actually go over stuff in more detail. This video I just wanted to go over how to actually create your basic first project. So I think that's pretty much everything for that. If you want to do TypeScript and stuff like that, it's a bit more work if you're using npm. If you use npx, you can just give it the -- TypeScript option, and it's the same with yarn, but npm I don't believe you can do that. So apart from that, I think that's pretty much everything. So if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon below if you want to see more from my channel. I have got a Twitter account where I pretty much just post video updates and not much else. I occasionally will post some developer stuff on there and some random other stuff, but I'm not too active on Twitter. It's mainly just a mailing list for my videos so that you guys actually know it goes up, because YouTube's always terrible. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Leave a comment letting me know what you think about React or any other web development framework, or if you learned anything from this video. That's everything for me, so I'm out.